now. Probably all getting
Big
ready
game.
for the Vikings game
Yeah.
and saying, wow, I'm happy I'm not there. With that being said, we'll move on with the agenda. And next on the agenda is the selection of the vice chairperson. And at this time, I'll entertain a nomination for that position.
I nominate Kim.
I second that.
Kim has been nominated to be vice chair. Is there anybody else that would like to nominate somebody? Any other nominations? Any other nominations? Hearing none, I'd like to ask for closing of the nominations and then a unanimous vote for Kim as vice chair. Do I have that motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded to elect Kim Holden as our vice chairperson. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you, Kim. I appreciate you being willing to step forward to that position.
Yay.
Yes, yay is right. Next, we have the role of clerk. It's one that I had and I enjoyed very much. So I'd like to entertain a nomination for that position.
I nominate Dan.
And
Second.
is there a second nomination?
Second.
A second for the nomination? Are there any other nominations? Other nominations? Any other? Not hearing any, I would like to ask for a closing of the nominations and then a passage by unanimous vote for Dan as our school district clerk. Let's see, do I have a motion on that?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to have Dan be our school district clerk. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Dan, for being willing to step forward for that job as well.
You haven't heard me read yet, so.
And next and finally is our treasurer position. And at this time, I'll open the position up for nomination. I'll nominate Karen.
Second that?
Are there any other nominations? Any other nominations? Any others? If not, then I would like to entertain a motion to close the nominations and to elect Karen Steinhoff as our treasurer. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And thank you, Karen, for being willing to take on that role. Next, we have the, oh, no, I didn't think I was under attack. Next, we get to put Dan to work right off the bat.
There you go.
And we have a resolution determining that there is a difference in opinion of the Indigenous Peoples' Day, that we will not be considering it a legal one, and also approving the meeting dates and times for the 2025 year. And I'd just like to make a statement about this. The reason that we're doing it together is because if we didn't approve it as a non-holiday, we could not meet on that Monday when it does fall. Okay, so I'll turn it over to you, Dan.
Be it resolved that pursuant to MS 645.44, subdivision 5, the School Board of Independent School District number 721 has determined that Indigenous Peoples' Day is not a school district holiday for New Prague area schools, Independent School District 721. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Whereupon a vote was taken upon the foregoing resolution, do I have to do the roll call now?
No, go ahead. And
Whereupon
say
a vote was taken upon the foregoing resolution of the following board members voted in favor.
Oh, you don't have to read that part.
No.
You just have to vote what the resolution is. I kind of said it, but repeat it again.
Okay, so voting on the resolution to make Indigenous Peoples' Days not a school district holiday. Mark, how do you vote?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Jean?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
Carrie?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Dan, yes. Whereupon the resolution was declared and passed and adopted today.
Okay, thank you so much, Dan. Nothing to it, right?
Yeah, I'll get the hang of it.
Next, we're going to designate the official district depositories. And as you see on your agenda there are several that are listed. And the reason for that is there are different locations, and maybe we do business with different ones at different times. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the district depositories as stated.
So move.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Item passes unanimously. Next, we have the designation of the council for the school district. And again, you see a number of them represented, and one is even a local one, the Warrenson, Goggins, Neeson, Morris, and Rever. And the reason that we have several again for that is because different legal groups have different abilities or different ways of doing things. And some do not want to take on some types of litigation that we might put forward to them. So we have several of them that are listed here, but it's up to the superintendent to work on picking the one that would be best suited to our needs for this particular issue that we might have to bring forward to them. Okay? So I would like to entertain a motion to approve the designation of legal counsel for the year 2025.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second. Is there any discussion?
Yeah, can I just add one thing? I talked with Andy a little bit about in the future, or we could still do it, kind of having a pricing matrix similar to what we have for the board compensation, that just kind of lists out the hourly rates for them, plus our recommendation of why we're going to choose these ones. I think would be super helpful for us to be informed, since oftentimes they work on our behalf.
And you know, the legal costs can vary, but just like a lot of other things in life, there isn't a lot of competition. There aren't a lot of legal firms that specialize in school law. So to find a big difference between the costs, I think would be kind of difficult, but it's something to look forward to.
Yeah, I think more just for transparency.
Sure. That would be fine.
If I may, I will be happy to develop that. We'll develop that. We won't obviously have it tonight, but I can get that information to you. Janelle will help me get that to you. By the way, Janelle's not here. She's on vacation, so welcome to Julie. But we will get that information for you and send it to you.
But would you agree that firms do not vary tremendously in charges? It's more how much time they have to put in on this
Yeah,
particular
I think it
case.
depends on their specialty areas more so. I think you may see more deviation or variation than you think. But again, if you go to people who specialize in a certain area of the law, they're going to be able to accomplish the mission faster than somebody who maybe doesn't. So the hourly rate might be more, but they're going to put in less hours to accomplish said goal. And that's part of the reason why there's the varied list. But we can certainly put something together with more detail about the hourly rate and generally speaking, and then some of the rationale for, and we'll get that to you.
And out of convenience, it's nice to have a local legal firm represented as well, because it's easier to get a hold of them, and for some matters they can work.
Yeah,
this as
we
well.
would love to use our local firms as much as possible. Again, I think, not speaking for the local firms, but that would be where their area of expertise is. And do you go with your local firm and it takes them longer because they're not in that expert area of expertise, or you go to one of the more established school-focused firms, would be a question that we would always be thinking about, because we're always going to try to control cost. Obviously, get the best legal advice and try to control costs. So we will put that together and deliver that to you, not this week, but in the near future.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or any other questions? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Next, we have the designation of official publication forum. And we've got two that are listed, one being the New Prague Times and the other one being the internet. And I was talking to fellow board members before the start of the meeting, and we are fortunate to have a community newspaper. A lot of communities have lost their newspapers, and we're kind of people are envious of us because we still have ours, and they do a good job for us as well. So at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the New Prague Times and the internet as our site on the internet as the two places for the forum.
So moved.
Do a second.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve these two forms. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Next, we have the school board compensation. And a matrix was produced for us on that. And you can study that, and I'm sure you have studied it. And I just would like to make a comment about it. We have been very slow to increase our amount that we get compensated. And we are definitely not in the upper reaches of that compensation either. We tend to be, I think, towards the more bottom of the compensation rates. But I think they're a fair rate, and entertain a motion to approve the compensation as stated here on our sheet, which is $2,475, and also some officer payments of $500 to the chair, $300 to the clerk, and $300 to the treasurer. Do I have a motion to approve?
One request on it.
Sure.
We have other meetings listed,
Yes.
and if we could maybe just spell out what those are, so everybody kind of knows what's
Sure.
covered on that, and it's posted out there in case anybody were to ever have any
Okay.
questions.
Andy, would you like to speak to that, or do you want me to talk to you about it?
You know, I would defer to you all because you know better than I what other meetings are. I'm
Sure.
guessing they are, if you choose to be reimbursed for committee meetings that you go to, or if we have special meetings, but honestly, I would defer to board members as to how you've used that in the past.
For example, the committee meetings, that would be one that you could definitely write a timesheet for if you want. And over the years, I have not always asked for compensation. It depended, like if I was in town anyhow, I didn't make it a big deal to get compensated for it. But if I had to drive in especially for it, then sometimes do it. It's really your discretion. If you want to get reimbursed for a meeting that you attended and feel that it was a special trip or hardship that you had to do, maybe to give up some time from your work or whatever have you, then it's your option to be able to do it.
An example of that would be the conference coming up on Thursday. As far as MSBA you're talking about taking it away from if you. Workday.
But thanks for asking, Carrie, because this is your first meeting, and this is the time to ask those questions, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I think more than anything, the other ones are stated amounts,
Mhm.
and that's the one that's kind of ambiguous in
Yeah.
case.
But we're, again, not unique that way either. Other districts do pay hourly rates
Yep,
for
yep.
special meetings too, so we're not unique in that respect. Okay, any other comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the rates as I stated them before.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to have the rates as stated. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. And next item. I can bring it up. And that is school board committee assignments. And I would like to table this assignment part of the agenda because of the fact that our work session tonight actually centers around that. And Andy will be presenting kind of a redo of the assignments, kind of a relook at them, because there have been some board members that have said, you know, we really need to take a second look at some of these committees and what is our purpose for being on them, and to make it something that is more current and more acceptable by most board members. So if it would be all right, I'd like to have a motion to table this for some upcoming date. But I won't say what date, but for now, we will table it.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions?
Wonderful. I'm glad. I'm curious about them as well.
Okay, we'll have a nice time by Andy to talk about what we've got planned here.
I think she's really excited about it until she sees what they are. I like that. This is noted on on TV. Well, later on, I think it's a good change. Speaking of being more relevant, more engaging, right? And so Denny and I, and it predates Denny. It's something that Matt and I honestly talked about, but we were never able to finish off for obvious reasons. So we'll bring a proposal for you to look at, give some feedback about some questions, and then bring it back going forward. So that'll happen in the study session in just a few minutes.
Okay, all in favor of
But can I ask,
tabling it?
can I ask something first?
Sure.
Um, So for now, all the committees will be static? Okay,
They'll be what?
static?
Yes, right.
Okay.
I'm happy you brought that up.
Okay.
We will, if there are committees that you want to attend, you can sure go ahead and do them until we do have the
Okay,
official designation of which ones go to which people.
okay, thank you.
Thank you for asking the question. Next, we go to the Education Identity and Access Management Board Resolution. And again, Dan will take that on.
Alrighty. So the Minnesota Department of Education, Professional Educator Licensing Standards Board, and Office of Higher Education require annual designation of an identified official with authority for each local education agency that uses the Education Identity and Access Management System. The Iowa is responsible for authorizing, reviewing, and recertifying user access for their local education agency in accordance with the State of Minnesota Enterprise Identity and Access Management Standards, which states that all users have user rights to Minnesota state systems must be reviewed and recertified at least annually. The Iowa will authorize user access to State of Minnesota education secure systems in accordance with the user's assigned job duties and will revoke that user's access when it is no longer needed to perform their job duties. The school board or equivalent governing board must designate in Iowa or authorize user access to the State of Minnesota Education Secure website for your organization. This EDIAM board resolution must be completed and submitted to the Minnesota Department of Education annually, as well as any time there is a change in the assignment of the official with authority. It is strongly recommended that only one person at the local education agency organization is designated as the Iowa. The Iowa will grant the Iowa proxy roles. In our organization, New Prague Schools, organization number 071-01, the director recommends that the board authorize the below-named individual to act as the identified official with authority, Iowa, for this organization. Andy Volmuth, superintendent. Do I have a motion for this resolution?
First, we have to, a motion, that's right. You did it right, exactly.
So moved.
Second.
All right, Mark, how do you vote?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes,
Jean?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes,
Carrie?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Dan? Yes.
thank you. Next, item 6.9 is the designation of a board member as the Minnesota State High School League representative. Would anybody like to step forward?
I'll do it.
And
I'll
take
do
that
it.
on?
Sure.
And Karen, thank you so much for being willing to be our designate for the board on the Minnesota State High School League. Next, item 6.10, a resolution designating the clerk and treasurer duties. Dan, take it away.
Whereas Minnesota Statutes 123B.14 Subdivision 1 empowers the school board to combine the duties of the office of the clerk and treasurer of the school board in one person in the office of business affairs of the school district. Whereas the school district has decided to combine the duties of the clerk and treasurer in one person in the office of business affairs, therefore be it resolved that the director of business services of the school district is designated by the school board of Independent School District number 721 to perform the duties of the clerk and treasurer of the district. Do I have a motion for this?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Mark?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Jean?
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes,
Carrie?
Yes.
Kim?
Yes.
Dan? Yes. Motion carries.
thank you. Item 610. Resolution designating, no, we just did.
That was the one,
Item
yeah.
611. Authorize specific established duties for staff to make electronic or paper transactions from any institution for the district through January of 2026. And this gives permission for people that are in the business office to transfer funds and to do the transactions.
So move.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any questions or comments? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Next, we've got the authorizing of the superintendent or director of business services to execute contracts and purchase orders for goods and services contained within the board-approved budget. Do I have a motion to approve this?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any questions or comments? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. Next, we have approval of reports retention schedule. And Andy and I were talking about this before the meeting, and we do have this, but this is something that we need to register with the state as far as recording the fact that we have this plan in effect. And Andy was telling me that that was one of the things that Sandy Lynn was working on before she retired from our district. So it's in place, we've got it. All we have to do is approve it for the state. Do I have a motion to approve it?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve this motion. Are there any questions? Comments? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item passes. And let's see. Item 614. 614 is to review the board procedures and board handbook policy 206, public participation at meetings, and policy 209, code of ethics. This one I don't think requires action. It's stated as a review, and that's what it is. I think we as board members need to look at this, study it very well, and be on top of it so that we are doing the right things, and that the meetings and public participation in it are done correctly, and the code of ethics that we have to maintain are maintained. So I think just a review of this by all of us will take care of that requirement. Okay? And now, item 7 is the adjournment, and then we will go into the work session. We'll take a couple-minute break. If somebody needs to go to the bathroom or something, we'll do that. We'll re-adjourn maybe at 6:33. How was that? Okay? All in favor? Let's see. A motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn and go into the work session. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We will be in the work session.